First as Imperial Airways, then BOAC, now British Airways, and always Speedbird. BA and its predecessors have been paving the way in the aviation industry for over a century. Whether it be Imperial Airways' first flight to Paris, or BOAC's all-jet Kangaroo service, or when British Airways revolutionized the industry with the world's first fully flat business class seat, British Airways is a legend for what they've accomplished and inspired in the past. The question is though, now a quarter of a century after they changed business class forever, are they still worth the shake? By the way, if you're ever curious about the price that I paid for this flight, or the equipment that I use on a daily basis while traveling and creating, all of that can be found in the description below. Let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. Over the last 5 years, I've flown over 130 airlines, so I could bring you my self-funded, drama-free, and honest takes on them all. Not to mention the over 200 hotels and resorts that I've reviewed so far. Scan the QR code to explore the destinations I've covered and learn more about the channel. Without further ado, let's get flying. And welcome to New York. Right now I'm heading to JFK's Terminal 8, the joint home of American Airlines, British Airways, and their One World friends. The history of British Airways is one that goes deeper than perhaps any other airline that I've covered on the channel. Even if I wanted to, which I don't, I could never do the full airline's history justice in one video. When I did my Roots and Hubs Kangaroo Route series, a huge portion of those 30-odd videos involved BA in some way, shape, or form. So I'll leave their history in those videos for you to explore. For today, I want to focus on something much more specific, the very route that we're flying today. British Airways and American Airlines have a joint premium check-in area all the way to the right of the hall. On the right side is for First Class and One World Emerald, and on the left is for Business and One World Sapphire. While everything is joined, keep in mind that there are still separate check-in desks. I didn't realize this for a few minutes while I was waiting in the wrong line. Today I'm flying to Madrid via London on a ticket purchased through Iberia. I actually needed to get to Frankfurt though, so I asked at check-in if they could link my other Iberia itinerary together, and before I even finished the question, I got a charming nope. Okay then. Thanks for the efforts. After security, I made my way to the Greenwich Lounge, one of multiple in the terminal. The Greenwich Lounge is specifically for One World Business Class or Sapphire and higher flyers. The lounge is large, but it can still get really busy in here. Luckily, there's always plenty of wine on supply to tune everything else out. So, this specific route, New York Kennedy to London Heathrow. In 2018, British Airways set a record for being the first ever airline to take in over $1 billion in revenue for a single route in 1 year. $1.15 billion in revenue to be exact. To put into perspective how much things have changed since COVID, in the first half of 2023, they made more than $1 billion. And this New York to London route is no longer the #1 route on Earth for revenue. That, as of the latest reporting I can find, has gone to the Sydney to Melbourne route. Considering those flights, relatively speaking, aren't that expensive, it goes to show how frequent they are, with up to 70 flights per day at the time of writing. For this New York to London route though, a lot of it, for British Airways at least, has to do with how premium their cabins are that they have for this route. Today we're flying on one of their 777-300ERs. India's Indigo Airlines packs 531 seats into their 777s. British Airways though, just 256. That's not the lowest number of seats on any major carrier. But British Airways does have the most premium 777-300ERs in the world. In fact, the most premium heavy twin-engine aircraft anywhere, excluding Singapore Airlines A350 ULRs, which don't have economy. On BA, first business and premium economy combined total 124 seats, or 48% of all seats on board. The American Airlines plane that I was on my last video, that had 88 seats, or 29% of the total. BA introduced their Club World business class products, the first on Earth with fully flat beds, in 1999. It was truly revolutionary. 27 years later, they're still flying a version of that same seat on some of their aircraft. I'm not justifying it, but one of the reasons they took so long to introduce a new seat, the one we're flying on today, is because they needed to find a product that could essentially be nearly as densely packed as their old product, which is essentially 8 seats across. In 2019, they finally introduced the reverse herringbone seats with doors. They were nowhere near revolutionary at the time, or now of course, but they do make for a very comfortable way to fly. Let's get on board our 10-year-old Speedbird and see exactly what it's like. Welcome to the third time in a row that I'm in the reverse herringbone mini cabin bulkhead seat. Trust me, I'm not complaining. I chose 5K for today's flight when booking. The seats are really some of the smartest looking out there, of any airline. Really saturated charcoal grays just hold up really well and add a richness to the overall look. One oddity of the seat, that headrest does not do a damn thing. No pivoting, no up and down, no movable wings. That's a big miss for me. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you could do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps with the algorithm, or you could check out my Patreon linked in the description below. On Patreon, I post everything from early access or Patreon-only videos, to newsletters, my best tips and tricks to save money on travel, glimpses behind the scenes, detailed advanced itinerary maps, and much, much more. Think of it as a toolbox to save money on or simply improve your next trip, especially if it's in Southeast Asia. If you have specific questions about your upcoming trips, I can help with that too. Whatever you do though, thanks very much for doing it. There are 4 storage compartments incorporated into the seat. First, next to you above the console table is the closed storage area where you'll find your water bottle and amenity kit. Just below that, there are 2 compartments, one shallow and one deep. The deeper one also has your universal outlet, headphone jack, USB port, and remote for the IFE. Lastly, there's one small storage area down by your knee. Those don't take into account the area that you also have under your footwell. Here in the bulkhead, the foot cubby is a bit wider, but not as much as on the previous 2 airlines. Pre-departure drinks were passed around, and after takeoff drink and meal orders were also taken on the ground. Even when the doors are open, it's a fairly private seat.
About 40 minutes from running into.
We pushed back around 30 minutes late, and the safety video began. And this is when the fun started. And to be clear, by fun, I mean definitely not fun. allow me to show you what we were getting ourselves into. All of those planes were waiting to take off. Then a very heavy thunderstorm passed over the airport, and there was a 15-minute or so ground stop. The clouds parted, literally, and revealed some gorgeous golden light as we finally made our way to the runway. At this moment, we were a delightful 43rd in line for takeoff. While we crawl to the runway, let me talk about the service on board. Like my last American flight, it was a bit of a mixed bag, but overall was a positive experience. The only two things that I'd fault the crew for were first, just how loud they were in the galley. I mean like full on 4 drinks in a pub crowd loud. I'm glad they enjoyed their jobs, but holy crap. Secondly was just one of the flight attendants in particular. He took everyone's meal order, except mine, and was just very, very short talking to other passengers. The lady next to me was disappointed that her choice for the main meal wasn't available, to which he replied, "Yeah, no, that's how it works," in a very flippant way. He could just use a tune-up. Everyone else I came into contact with was lovely. A few of them had a great sense of humor. They were all attentive throughout the flight and very much worked as a team. This isn't good or bad, but it was just very different from my American flight, where it was essentially the same flight attendant that took care of me the entire time. On this flight, it was a rotating bunch of really pleasant crew. Now you might be thinking, waiting in line, 43rd in line, for an hour and 20 minutes. What could be worse? Let me show you. We were 43rd in line and also last. Not a single plane behind us. Lucky us. Beautiful sunset coming up. As soon as the crew were released, they came around and unlocked everyone's doors. These doors received a bit of ridicule when they first debuted for really not doing much. And while seated, I would agree. But when lying down, there is a bit of added privacy. Let's take a look at the comforts on board. One giant and fluffy pillow, which was an absolute delight. Inside the sealed carrier, you'd find the blanket and the mattress pad. The pad was thin and comically small. I'll show you later, it doesn't even cover the full seat. The blanket was very cozy though, and a nice weight. Hot towels were passed around, and it's time for the first meal service. 35 minutes after takeoff, things started with your drink of choice along with the snack mix. For the starter, there were 3 choices, which is very nice to see. Smoked salmon and avocado timbale, carrot and ginger soup, or burrata with marinated heritage tomatoes, grilled zucchini, Kalamata olives, pickled rosemary, and basil oil. That's what I had. Full of flavor, would have been even better with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. This also came out with a pretzel roll and a small side salad. For the main, there were 3 choices. Metsi pacheri, grilled king prawns, or beef short rib pie. I mean, how could you possibly not choose a beef short rib pie? Served with roasted baby carrots, green beans, creamed potatoes, and green peas. It was much more of what I know to be a pot pie, just pastry on top, but I suppose that makes sense as a soggy bottom would be all but guaranteed on a plane. Overall, it was delicious. Again, perhaps a bit underseasoned though. For dessert, I had the warm pistachio souffle. The note that I wrote down on board was quote-unquote, Paul Hollywood would not be amused. It was a tasty piece of sponge, but a souffle it was not. Overall, the meal's gonna get a solid 8.7 out of 10. After that, I had a look at the entertainment on board, which was very good. I particularly like it when the thumbnails for the relevant movies aren't little tiny things. The screen was a good size, bright, and not super reflective. The headphones on offer were decent quality as well. Here's the bed in full flat mode. I suppose this doesn't do the best job at showing the short mattress cover, sorry, but it covers just the seat bottom and up to your shoulder level. Otherwise, it was a very comfortable nook to sleep in. Because the seat cover doesn't actually attach to the seat in any way though, if you move around a lot while you sleep like me, it will be displaced pretty quickly, and will be impossible to use while you're sitting. This is the largest of the 3 business class cabins. Keep in mind, there's still another full cabin behind me. The amenity kit is from the White Company and is packed tighter than my packing cubes on a 6-week trip. There are 3 products on offer and an eye mask, which could cover half of most people's faces. The restrooms on board were stocked with the same products and spotless throughout the flight. An hour before landing, a very short time frame which is appreciated, the second light meal was served, this time breakfast. Everyone is served the fruit muesli with farro grains and a blueberry muffin, and then you choose if you'd like the egg sandwich, on an English muffin, or the fresh fruit salad. That muesli grain porridge combo was the best thing I had on this flight. I would eat that every single freaking day for breakfast. The muffin was fine, and the sandwich was a good solution for the meal, considering these flights from New York are pretty quick. I was impressed to see streaky bacon as well, also known as real bacon, and not back bacon on British Airways. I'd say perhaps they're finally coming around, but I'm sure you'll correct me in the comments. Overall, this meal is getting an 8.1 out of 10. I would say that today's flight was a solid 7.25. And I'd say that their ranking of an 8 previously was warranted because I really did love my previous flight with them at first. But it was actually more of like a 7.55. So I'm just going to bring them down to a very nice, sustainable 7 overall. I've yet to fly Delta long haul. Though, trust me, I am trying, like really trying. But I would definitely take British Airways any day over American or United. That said, I'll take Air France, Iberia, or SAS any day over BA. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time for a trio of Iberia and Iberia regional flights. As always, thanks for watching until the end.